Welcome to Good Morning Hospitality, your one-stop shop for the latest news, noteworthy trends, and thought-provoking discussions across the industry. From hotels to short-term rentals to all things travel and hospitality, you'll find each episode equips you with the information that you need to start your week. Join us on Good Morning Hospitality every Wednesday, wherever you get your podcasts. Good morning.
Good morning, Sarah. Happy Wednesday to you. Another week. I love it. A beautiful day here in Miami. How is it looking in LA?
Ooh, it is. It's a little gloomy out there, but that's all right. We've had a lot of sun, and then over the next week, I think we're going to be getting some more rain, which, you know, as we always like to say here, we always appreciate it, even though nobody knows what to do with the rain in LA.
That's so funny.
They're like,
you know, we're well trained down here in the tropics.
You are.
Yeah. We're ready to rock.
Definitely.
But you haven't been traveling much this week, right? So not much travel for you?
No. Last week I was in Palm Springs. No, it's been kind of quiet on the travel front, which is cool. I'm okay with. I've just been super busy. I've got my private clients that are keeping me incredibly busy, which is why I've been a little quiet on social media, because I have been working from 6 a.m. until midnight most days.
I think the life of Sarah's glamorous. You know, you got to grind to get there.
Yeah, I know. That's the stuff that most people don't realize. But normally, if I end up going a little quiet on social media, because it's like we are at max capacity.
And Lou,
oh my gosh,
balmy but rainy and windy today in Charleston. You know, I'm embarrassed. I still haven't been to Charleston. I'm upset about this. I cannot believe I haven't.
You need to go. Charleston.
I don't know how I haven't ended up there. So Lou, you got to give me some recommendations.
Thank you for joining us, Lou. Thank you. Always nice.
And I've been working a lot too. A lot of projects. Hopefully, some exciting things I can announce next week. I shared some behind the scenes stuff I can't announce yet, but you know, everyone knows I've been working on a glamping project for almost 2 years, and so finally, I think we're almost there to be able to start announcing stuff.
Oh, that's exciting.
Always exciting.
Exciting. Oh my gosh. Well, as you guys continue joining us, let us know where you are joining us from.
Where you are joining and what's the weather? We could talk about
oh my God. What's the weather? Oh my gosh. I mean, oh yeah.
Hey, early morning energy here. We've got some great things to talk about today. A lot of fun things. So should we jump in? Should we get into it?
Let's go ahead and talk about it. Okay, so for those that know me, I always talk about this. I preach this. I should actually say, for those that know me and how I speak to consumers and travelers, I'm a big fan of loyalty and rewards programs. So a recent article came out. Marriott Bonvoy is leading the loyalty rewards program, and Hilton Honors is closing in. So membership growth, Marriott Bonvoy is currently leading with 228 million members. Hilton Honors, though, has grown by 147% since 2018, reaching 210 million members. So if they continue to sort of grow at this pace, Hilton could actually surpass Marriott by late 2026, depending on how things end up continuing. So this is interesting.
Yeah. Well, first, let's say hello to Kate. Kate, thanks for joining us again. I know you joined last week with some inside news on Cambria. I remember that. So thank you for coming back today. And listen, I guess take advantage of the storm day. No school. Enjoy it there in Charleston as well. So another Charleston person watching here.
I know.
But listen, the points. It's amazing to see how many hundreds of millions of people these hotels have on their membership and have all their data and information and their likes and their preferences, and can really start to streamline products and services around that. That's what I think is most interesting. I know a lot of people look at it like, oh, as a member, like, what do I get? I'm part of Marriott Bonvoy. I'm not in Hilton Honors, I don't think. Actually, I am, and I'm in an IHG, so I'm in the top 3.
I was about to say, really?
I am. I'm not in Wyndham or Accor, but I am on those top 3. But some of them are easier to get rewards, and others are harder. Like IHG, like I've been going to a lot of IHG. Remember, I've been talking about Intercontinental.
For sure.
And I haven't qualified for much. I'm like in their bronze, basic, anything. Like, let me at least get a hat, something.
A hat. You want a hat? I don't know if I want a hat, but
a United States. So I'm curious to see. That would be the next step. Is what are you getting at these levels? What do you get as those members, and how are these hotels really diving in because I never worked for any of these brands, so I never got to really see the rewards on the other side. And so if anyone is worked at Marriott, Hilton, or IHG currently and gets to see what the rewards are going on, let us know. We'd be curious to see what you all think about this. But which ones are you using the most, Sarah?
Between Marriott and Hilton. And it's interesting because people are like, oh my gosh, for the amount that you travel, I figured you'd have like titanium status or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I'm very lucky that a lot of my trips are covered for work because I do obviously a lot of work with the marketing department. So it all depends on how they do the billing. Sometimes they pay for it and it's like paid to under marketing. And sometimes it ends up being comped. And if it's a comped room, then I'm not getting any credit for that. So, but it's interesting. And every so often, I'll keep track of what's going on with my Amex Platinum, for example. And if there's a good, like if sometimes they'll do like an additional boost if you transfer some of your American Platinum or like American Express points to that, then I'll participate, but generally not. I mean, word on the street in general is like credit card points, like American Express, it takes you a little bit further in the airline game than it does in the hotel game. So
it's true. It's true because I'm booking things now, and you can see it because I haven't played this game with the, which one am I going to put all my points to? I put all my points on the Platinum American Express card for everything I do, and then I use those. We talked about AI helped me plan my trip and which points to go where and how.
I love it.
But what it's saying here is Marriott is focusing on integrating with experiences beyond hotels. So they're adding in travel and dining, and now they also have their homes and apartments that they're starting to develop. So you can use your Marriott Bonvoy points for that. Hilton is leveraging partnerships and personalized rewards to drive member engagement. So trying to get partnerships and doing things that people feel personalized and get their unique experience, but both are pushing digital tools and apps to streamline everything. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top. But if Hilton gained 147%, they're pushing hard. They got some great brands as well. Like their Waldorf Astoria brand is now making big moves. I'm curious to see what happens there. But Kate, as always, our reporter on the ground. Look at this, Kate. As a Hilton employee, the employee rate / family and friends discounts are amazing. As an HH member, using points for complimentary stays and upgrades are the best, in my opinion.
That's awesome.
That's a big statement there, Kate.
Well, and I will say this from like the social media perspective, and obviously these are both brands that I love and I work with. I will say Hilton has a little bit more fun on social. They definitely have a great influencer program, and it's not to say that Marriott doesn't, but Marriott is looking for such amazing polished pieces, which certainly look fantastic. And I know a lot of the creators that work with them, and they're phenomenal. So it's definitely not a dig at them, but it's, I guess if you could like say like the personalities, like the brand personalities online, Marriott's like very polished. Everything, it's like fantastic advertisements. They work with a lot of athletes and they do branding that way, which is cool. And then where Hilton, they've got a bit of that, but they also work, I think, with more influencers, and they just have a little bit more fun with what they're doing. And so I don't know. Does that have influence over the loyalty and rewards programs? It could.
I think
so. It's just interesting to see like how that plays out. And there's no one way to do it, but obviously they're great.
I'm surprised not to see Hyatt on here, right? Like I don't see Hyatt as like in the top 5, which was surprising to me. But I guess because I'm working a lot with them recently, so I see a lot of like very dedicated Hyatt point users, and they get a lot of free rooms and upgrades and all these interesting things. So very interesting to see, but we'll continue to push points. Let's see how they go. But I really want to see these hotels continue to personalize things because they have all the information for hundreds of millions of people. It's amazing to see. And so I know we have a news that just hit the presses that Will was telling us about. Our friends over at Mews just raised another $75 million to expand in the U.S., but also make a huge push into Europe. And they had just raised several hundred million, and they were now a unicorn company. So raised They're valued at over $1 billion in the travel industry. For our friends at Mews, I know you know some people over there. What do you think about all this and their continued growth?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's great. It's fantastic. And from a consumer perspective, the property I stayed at last week was actually powered by Mews. So that was a really interesting reservation and check-in process. So I enjoyed it. It was different than the traditional how I normally get my hotel reservations, and this I could very much go in, modify some things as I needed. I put in my credit card ahead of time. It was very cool. It was very user friendly. Now, granted, this is just one hotel, one experience. I'm sure it can be done in so many different ways. But I definitely enjoyed it. So I'm curious to see as they just like expand more, certainly in the United States. But obviously this is great. I mean, I feel like every quarter they're raising more money. So good for them. Keep it up.
I like it. Good job to the team at Mews. Let us know if we can help in any way. Our show would love to partner with you, right, Sarah? I think we could partner with them and do some fun things with Mews. That would be an amazing thing to do.
Absolutely. Always cool to see somebody and big companies kind of doing something a little bit different in the industry.
So good. Well, talking about unique things in the industry, should we talk about set jetting?
Yeah, yes, we should. Set jetting. I love this, by the way. Ultra luxury villas inspired by the White Lotus in Thailand. So, I mean, as we know, we've talked about this a lot. We're seeing it inspired by the HBO series White Lotus. Luxury villas in Thailand are attracting high-end travelers. Now, these villas, just to give you guys an idea, these rates are kind of starting at about $10,000 a night, targeting obviously a very specific type of traveler. But it's filling up.
Is that American dollars?
Yes, that is American. Dude, that is American dollars. And do you know how many people's salaries that would pay?
It's amazing. But it just shows, right, that we talked about set jetting. And for those that don't know, set jetting was when you watch something on your TV set and then you jet off to that location because you're inspired by it. And there's a couple of shows that have done that. Emily in Paris was one on Netflix that drove a lot of people over to France. I watched it. I have to finish the last couple of episodes, but
the recent one I haven't even watched it.
I need to finish. White Lotus. I'm amazed that they got 4 seasons and 4 seasons says yes, because now all of the locations where they've had that TV show, they are selling out of the most beautiful suites. People want to live that life that they see on TV and are willing to pay for unique experiences, and we continue to talk about that. So people are selling out at $10,000 a night to live the life that they see on TV and to be a part of it.
I just think it's so funny. I just find it humorous that it's kind of like go. By the way, have you watched the new season of White Lotus?
I have not. No, and I'm going to say, people yell at me. I do not have HBO and I don't pay for Max. I got Netflix and Disney Plus and all
of that,
whatever, all the other Paramount Plus, but I don't have Max, so I got to get on there and see the show and see if I actually would like it. Is it a good one?
I haven't seen the newest season. I have mixed feelings about it. So my quick nutshell recap on White Lotus, by the way, is so I am hesitant because I sometimes feel like they make, and I can't speak for the newest season, I sometimes feel like they make the hospitality industry, like staff and employees look questionable and that people do bad things. And I don't like that. I don't like the idea that they could make people question like the genuineness of most people in hospitality. So that I don't like, but I understand why the average, and I will speak to this, the average American public likes it, is because at the end of the day, and I'm not revealing anything when I say this, at the end of the day, it's about super, super wealthy people, which most Americans aspire to be, and that they're all miserable. And so the psyche of that is like, oh, even the wealthy are like miserable with life too. And I think that that's why people end up liking watching it. Which is,
see, we need some more fun hotel shows. Like there was a couple, they tried to make it, they just didn't keep going. Like there was one that was on prime time.
It has to be high drama.
It didn't make it. Then there was one Las Vegas that ran in the early 2000s that was pretty good with Josh Duhamel. Like I like that one. Like that was
exactly.
fun.
See,
Right?
by the way, hi Jeremy. Sorry I won't be seeing you in Madrid. But yes, he brings up a good point. The general manager from this first season better not exist. Watching that horrified me. But people are like, I love it. And I'm like,
they're going to spend $10,000 to live that life.
So, okay. I mean, I just find it also interesting because I have clients that spend $10,000 a night at hotels, and I just know that they're not swayed by that lifestyle. So I find
these are people reaching for a unique, life-changing experience that they want to pay and go out there. But I will say this, for marketing wise, if you have the opportunity to get your hotel or unique vacation or landscape hotel or whatever unique thing you may have onto a TV show that's going to make you look good or be the backdrop, do it. Don't turn it down. You see this over and over again. The places that say yes get filled up. So get in there, whether it's a movie, like in Miami for a long time, we've had a lot of hotels that are featured in there. People want to go to those hotels because it's been their favorite movie. Or like the James Bond films or the Mission Impossible films or all these cool places where things are filmed. Get in there, make sure to get your marketing team on it and get your hotel position because it just shows you're going to make a lot of money on the top line. Anyway, that's my rant for marketing.
Love it.
Hotels, get on TV.
Get on TV. Yeah, because that's easy. You can make it in Hollywood, baby. Oh my gosh. Too funny. All right, let's talk about some travel things. So Southwest Airlines, their flights are now available on Expedia. This is huge. For the longest time, they were never available on third-party sites. And this is a real big deal because it really puts, I don't want to say it not evens the playing field, but it definitely makes them more visible to, I actually think they're the appropriate type of travelers, because the people that are using the third-party sites are really looking for okay, what are the best deals that we can get? And I mean, Southwest normally has fantastic rates. So I'm surprised that they held out this long, actually.
Yeah, it's interesting. So the partnership is going to cover all Southwest 117 destinations across 11 countries and integrates with Expedia's vacation packages. So allowing travelers to bundle flights with hotel activities and other things going on that they may have. So it just shows you the power of the OTAs is not going away. Even though you think that you have a loyal following and people book direct, there's so many eyeballs on the OTAs. They are very powerful and still pushing people. And there is a business case for using them. They were off for so long. Now they're on. They got to make some money. They've been trying with all different things, Southwest, right? Like trying to get different kind of seat classes, trying to figure out new ways to generate revenue. So this is a big one for Expedia. But are you booking things on Expedia? Like I haven't used Expedia in a long time. I guess yeah. I'm using oh my gosh.
No, I do not. I used to. Sure, I would say I definitely yeah, I used to. I don't know that
Orbitz.
Yeah, I would get ideas and then I would generally go book direct. But when I was booking on Orbitz when I was 22, trying to get a bundle deal. Yeah. Whereas now, definitely now, yeah, no, I definitely don't look at it now. I do understand clients and people that do. But also when I speak at my consumer related events, like when I talk at the Travel and Adventure Show, just so that you all know, I always advise against using third parties and to always book direct. So I am a book direct girl. I see many of my travel influencer friends that have partnerships with Expedia and the like, and I'm sure they get paid a pretty penny. And that is not a thing that I could participate in because I can't in good faith necessarily always push it. Not to say that there isn't a time and place for third-party sites, but I always got to say book direct. Book direct.
More power
over the travel advisor.
I always tell my friends, if you book direct, I could always help you, right? If it's harder for me to do stuff for you if you book through a third-party channel. I was in the hotels.
For sure.
Yeah. And so Lou was saying he checks Expedia for the info and then goes directly for the flights. Yeah, it's a good way to aggregate, get your ideas, see where you want to go. There's so many good tools like that. But I agree with you, Sarah. We'll continue. So good luck to Southwest. joining all the other people on Expedia.
Mm-hmm.
It goes well for you.
Yeah.
But this one, can I do this one? Because this is in
Yeah,
my
please.
backyard.
Yes.
And my brother jumping in. Hold on. What does he have to say?
Whoa.
Hey, Sarah and Steve. I'm getting married this year, and I don't know where to start when it comes to booking my honeymoon. Any top tips or tricks come to mind? Coming in here for some consulting. What do you think, Sarah? What would you tell my brother?
Well,
Quickly approaches.
First of all, we're asking what type of honeymoon are you looking for? Presumably a beach vacation. Are you looking to stay close to the United States? Or are you open to going a little bit further? So yeah, and then a lot of that kind of depends on the ideal budget and then narrowing down those destinations. But there's so many great places. So but it's a honeymoon, so I think a lot of people try to do something a little bit more exotic. So
I
whether
went
you
to
want
Thailand.
yeah,
Thailand, Cambodia. It was awesome.
that's a really fun idea for a honeymoon. But I mean, Fiji is always like a hot spot, and yeah, there's a lot of places that we could explore. We could maybe turn a whole episode into how to
There you
plan
go.
your
Planning
honeymoon.
David's honeymoon. We'll make a series of it. All right, David Turk. Offline, you can have Sarah. She'll book you the $10,000.
Happy to chat with you. Okay, we can totally chat if you want.
Well, in the backyard here, U.S. hoteliers are capitalizing on the rising cruise demand. So with cruise travel surging, U.S. hotels are tailoring their services to attract pre- and post-cruise travelers.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you,
yes, what do you say?
I live less than a mile from Port of Miami, and these cruise ships are getting gigantic. They are huge, and they continue to get bigger, and they're holding 10 to 12,000 people or more with staff on these ships, and they're all arriving and leaving on the same days, and so downtown gets flooded.
Oh my gosh.
With all of these people coming in and out, which is great. I love seeing everyone coming to Miami and getting to experience it. But it is something big. The hotels around here have buses that go back and forth. They have cars and things that are happening. And when something goes wrong at the port, because there's a tunnel and there's just one bridge that goes over.
Yep.
All of a sudden, the whole area shuts down with gridlock on Sundays, as if it was like rush hour on the busiest time of the day. But anyhow, that's what I'm seeing here. You get to see a lot of different things with cruises. What are you seeing when you read this article?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, like the demand is rising, which the first thing that tells me is that travelers are trying to maximize their trips. And I've actually said this before. This is the year that of the travel maximizer. Ooh. Like people are they're spending a pretty penny, but they really want to maximize what they're getting for their dollar spend. Understandably so. And so cruises are a good way to do that. What you're paying a set price, depending on if it's all inclusive or whatever, that there's not going to, be any additional surprises. So that makes sense from a consumer perspective. Then obviously hotels, I mean, people have to stay in the hotels either before or afterwards so they can make sure that they get on the ship. With the way airlines have been, it's a bit nerve-wracking for people to be like, oh, let me just fly in and then go straight to the port. That's
a rookie error.
Woo, definitely rookie move for sure. But yeah, I mean, I get it. And it's smart that these hotels are just catering to that. And the volume that you were mentioning, it's huge. And you're right. It's also not just the people coming and not just travelers, but the people that are working on these ships. I have a friend of mine that performs on several ships. And every time I'm seeing, he's spending a night in Miami and this and that because he's off or he's in between sailings and all of that. And it's like, all of that is business. No, very, very big business.
I love seeing him come and go, and I drive by it every day. And what's interesting too is the day pass business as well. So people buy day passes from the different companies, like Resort Pass or Vacation or Real Time Reservation. They book these day passes so they go into other people's hotels, get a little appetizer of that hotel, and be like, all right, I'm going to stay here next time. So I always tell some hotels, if you have the capacity, especially on those Sunday, Mondays, Tuesdays when cruises are coming back into port, try to sell your day passes to those cruise ships and get people in to spend money at your hotel.
You know what? It's interesting. Hopefully next month, I am due to be actually in Miami, and I will be speaking at Sea Trade unless plans
Whoa.
change. But more on that soon. I think it was officially announced today.
I saw something go up in April. You were on one of your face was next to a couple of the ballers that are going to be speaking there.
Oh, wait, what?
Yeah, it was on this morning on LinkedIn.
Oh,
I saw
yeah.
you, Scott Eddy, and a couple other people speaking at a panel.
Yep. So, yes, I will be there. So excited for that. But what's interesting is, as somebody who's traveled to a lot of the big cities in and around the country, I will say, as far as like the climate, as far as how the different big cities are doing, Miami is doing very, very well. South Florida, there is a vibe that is going on there that is New York doesn't have. New York is it's always going to be busy, but it doesn't quite have that spark that Miami has right now. Los Angeles is having its own moment. That can be a conversation for another day. Chicago is just doing its Chicago thing. Like when we're talking about the big cities, Miami is like on fire right now in the best way, like fire, good way.
Yes.
So and I'm sure the cruising also plays into that because so many people are coming there. It's awesome to see.
I love
So
it. I think you just gave us a great Miami commercial. I'm going to clip it for all my friends here.
perfect.
Come on down to Miami and Miami Beach. We would love to have you here. It is a great place. I love that I get to live here and born and raised here, and it's changed so much. And I love that people are seeing it in a whole different way every time those cruises get packed and unpacked.
Yeah.
I love seeing it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely my opinion of it has changed so much over the past several years, and I mean, I have to say, I love it. I'm into it, so I'll be there soon. Okay, let's talk about this last topic here before we start, kind of like wrapping up the show. But okay, so Amazon's Alexa, their AI upgrade, book Uber rides and plan travel. Basically, it's enhancing travel planning. That's kind of cool. So the latest AI upgrade and that allows Alexa users to book Uber rides, reserve dining via Open Table, and plan travel itineraries. By the way, I love this because we were seeing a little bit of this with what is going to be rolling out with Delta Concierge. I think we're going to see a lot more of this moving forward. I even find myself, I'm in my room and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I want to just talk to my Siri because I have, oh no, don't come on. To like have her help me book things or do things. Like I want to talk to her like a person. Oh my gosh, we're gonna be living with robots very, very soon.
I'm excited about it. I have one right here, and I'm gonna Alexa, what's the top hotel in Miami Beach?
I found a few top-rated hotels in Miami Beach. There's Uma House by Yerbin, 4.3 miles away on James Avenue. The Raleigh Miami Beach, 4.4 miles away on Collins Avenue. And Casa El Paseo, Miami
Alexa,
Beach.
Stop. You're fired.
Next
Name
time
the
we're
hotel
gonna do
closed.
a competition with your Alexa and my Siri and see who gives better
But the
information.
best is still ChatGPT's voice bot that I've tried. That one by far is the best.
Oh yeah.
Here's what I have to say.
Update on Operator, by the way.
It's been great. I will give you a couple of updates. I could talk about it for an entire show.
Okay, next week, let's put a pin in that we talk about Operator, because I think that would be really fascinating and helpful for everyone on how you can further use ChatGPT and the likes.
Yes, but I would say this. Alexa, I had to unplug it so it doesn't keep talking, is the first really AI that we learned about was them and Siri, and they fell way behind everybody else. And so the thing that they're talking about here don't really excite me all that much because it's already being done by the other AI tools at a better pace. Like this one just recommended a hotel that's closed for renovation. It has been closed for 4 years, right? So it's just has a lot of work left to do. But what I would say is that I did upgrade my vehicle and Alexa came in the car. And so my kids know how to use it. So they will ask Alexa their math question or something for homework as we're sitting in traffic. And so it's interesting to see how the new generations coming up.
They need to do the math question on their own.
But they can move quicker, more efficient. I like it. I'm all about my kids using it.
No, for sure.
And Kate says, yes, I love ChatGPT for almost everything right now. And I would say if you're using it now, the free version, upgrade to the $20 version. If you're using the $20 version, invest for a month, $200 and get the $200 a month version because it unlocks different ways of thinking. And I use it as an employee basically right now. So it's scary to say that, but that's how I use it.
Oof, that's crazy. Well, I definitely use the $20 version. I will definitely look into.
Yeah, do it for a month. You can turn it on and off.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, I use it for so many different things. Like, for example, I've got a presentation. I was playing around with Gamma yesterday because Gamma with the PowerPoint presentations.
Ooh,
Uh,
I need
I
that.
I used it in November, December, and even since then, it's changed dramatically. So I'm curious. I think it'll be doing everything I would like it to do in the next 2 to 3 months. It's still not quite hitting the mark for me, but great and useful and awesome. So very cool. Oh my gosh, looking at the time. Let's go to our real-time recap here.
All right, I've got one that's very
Okay.
unique. So I had my kids' joint birthday party because their birthdays are very close
Yes.
at a place called Sky Zone Doral. So a trampoline park. I've never
Ooh.
been there, but I want to give a shout out to their
Okay.
team because they had, at first I was like nervous, like 2 teenage boys that were our party organizers, and we had a room. And I'm like, all right, what are these kids? They look like they're 15, right? Like, how are they going to help?
Okay.
They were
Okay.
on point, these 2 kids that helped organize
Amazing.
40 kids and their parents, put the food out, help hang up decorations, help organize everything, help clean everything up, cut the cakes, did everything for the party. And, you know, I'm a hospitality guy. And I was like, hey, do you guys get tips in here? Like, well, sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. So I gave him 20% tip on the bill, which was
Okay.
a nice bill. And they were shocked. They're like, how much? You gave us too much. And I'm like, no, this is
20%.
you guys did a great job. You guys did excellent.
Yeah.
And then their supervisor came over. I was watching. They're all excited about getting this tip. And the supervisor, who's maybe 2 years older than them, like probably 18, was like, oh, you guys ate today. You guys ate it. You guys made it. And I was like, yeah, let's go. Got these young kids. But if I was still in the hotels, I would recruit them to my pool and beach in like 2 seconds because they did a great job. So wonderful job, Sky Zone Doral.
Wow. I love that. That's cool.
That's good. You know, we've got the young
cool.
guys coming up.
No, I love it. It's great. Interesting. I was kind of like on the flip side, and I was mentioning this a little bit beforehand, and I won't go into too many details, but I had a client of mine who actually stayed at a home rental property in another part of Florida, and there have been a lot of issues, and it was fascinating to me how, and it's run by a management company, how with the issues, like I had to basically have a side conversation with them about saying, I'm pretty sure this is not the guest experience you're striving for. You know, might I suggest that you offer an additional cleaning service? And this because the client paid a pretty penny. And it was so fascinating to me how this is a hospitality company and business and not an inexpensive one, and how their first reactions were not super hospitable. And of course, you know, I'm not going to go in there and with guns blazing and all that, but to kind of gently guide them in the direction like, hey, you know what? Things sometimes go wrong. You know, that it's use over time. Appliances don't work, this, that, whatever. But like, there's a certain level of protocol that this is somebody's vacation.
Yep.
Like it's so crazy to me. So
Interesting. You sent them your book. You should have sent them the book. So hey, listen, I'm the author of Hospitality from Within. Okay, like let's make sure you understand what's going on here.
Well, first of all, that's why I'm always very, very nice, because I never. That's just who I am. I don't ever get like super crazy
It's
angry.
fake. Behind the scenes, she screams at everybody, guys. This is all an act.
No, but like even especially when I'm doing stuff on behalf of clients, I will never be cause a scene with them. I will always go in and be like, look, this is what it is. I do sometimes, I'm curious because I'm like, do they ever stop and say, who is this person? And then do they Google? I don't know. Like, is that a thing?
Yeah,
and they're like, oh, this person knows what she's talking about. I don't, who knows? But yeah. So, I mean, the point is obviously we know that there's not hospitable things out there, but to have an outlook with it that we can maybe hopefully gently encourage those businesses to look at things a little bit differently. So every time that we see something that hasn't gone well, we can use that as maybe a lesson to inspire better hospitality moving forward. So that is my goal with that. So we'll see what ends up happening, especially after they get my very long email today. Anyway, oh my gosh, let's get to our hospitality quote. Everybody's got to get back to work wherever you are. Oh my gosh. All right. Do you want to read this?
Sure. Let me get my glasses here. True hospitality is marked by an open response to the dignity of each and every person, by Kathleen Norris. So beautiful. True hospitality is marked by an open response to the dignity of each and every person. So again, treating everybody as an individual, listening to their stories, understanding where they're coming from, and treating them with dignity, no matter what's going on.
I love that. I love that. Integrity is also a big part of that, which is huge. So very cool.
A good quote to end today. I love another great show for us. Should we end up with anything else? Anything else we need to chat about today?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Oh, I might be on the road next week, so stay tuned. I might be in Iowa by this point.
Iowa, very exciting. If you haven't yet, get the book Hospitality Unlocked on Amazon.
Get the book, that book.
Moving up the charts. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it. And until next week, stay hospitable, everybody.